All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're deconstructing Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's incredible second Sherlock Holmes novel, The Sign of the Four. And trust me, this is way more than just another detective story. It's a wild ride involving lost treasure, broken promises, and a mystery that literally spans continents, from the foggy back alleys of London all the way to colonial India.
So the story kicks off with this quote, and honestly, it tells you everything you need to know about where Holmes is at. He says, "I cannot live without brain work. What else is there to live for?" Now, he's not in danger. His crisis is pure mind-numbing boredom. And this isn't just a cool line. It's the entire engine for the plot. You see, without a case to solve, Holmes turns to, well, cocaine, which drives Watson crazy. The man is desperate for a puzzle, something to sink his incredible mind into. And boy, is he about to get one.
Right on cue, that puzzle walks right through the door. Her name is Miss Mary Morstan, and she is the spark that lights this whole fire. The case she brings to 221B Baker Street is so bizarre, so completely fascinating, that it jolts Holmes right out of his drug-induced funk. So get this, her story isn't just one mystery, it's like 3 or 4 all rolled into one. First off, her dad, a military captain, just disappeared. 10 years ago. Poof. Vanished. Then, for the last 6 years, she's been getting these incredibly valuable pearls in the mail, one every year, totally anonymous. And now she gets a mysterious letter telling her to go to a meeting, calling her a wronged woman and promising justice. I mean, come on, how could Holmes possibly resist that? And just when you think it can't get any weirder, there's this. The only other clue she has is this strange cryptic map found in her father's desk. And on it are 4 names, and the phrase that gives the book its title, The Sign of the Four. Right now, it just seems like a random, bizarre piece of paper. But trust me, this little map, it's the key to everything. It's about to unlock a massive story of greed, betrayal, and revenge. Okay, so that mysterious letter, it leads Holmes, Watson, and Mary to the house of this really eccentric guy named Thaddeus Sholto, and this is the moment where the case just completely blows up. It goes from a missing persons case to a full-blown treasure hunt. Now, let's be really clear about what we're talking about when we say treasure. The Agra treasure isn't just a chest of gold coins. Oh no, we are talking about a king's ransom in jewels, worth £500,000 back in Victorian times. I mean, that's an absolutely mind-boggling amount of money, even today. This treasure, this pile of jewels, is the dark, beating heart of the entire story. And here's the crazy thing about the Agra treasure. It's got this dual nature, right? On one hand, it's the ultimate dream. It's I never have to work again money, it's freedom. But the reality? It's a straight-up curse. Every single person who gets their hands on it ends up with nothing but bad luck, greed, and misery. It's like it promises you the world but locks you in a cage. And we see that curse in action, big time. The team shows up at the Sholto estate, ready to finally get Mary her share of the fortune. But what they find instead is a murder scene. Thaddeus's twin brother, Bartholomew, is dead. And get this, he's in a locked room. The treasure chest is missing, and his face is frozen in this awful, terrifying grin. Suddenly, this isn't just a puzzle anymore. It's a murder investigation.
And this is where Sherlock Holmes just shines. The official police are scratching their heads, completely baffled. But Holmes, he just calmly walks into the room, and within minutes, he has it all figured out. He's like, okay, there were 2 people here. One's got a wooden leg. His partner is really, really small. He even finds the murder weapon, a tiny poison dart, and picks up a scent of creosote that he knows will lead them straight to the culprits. It's just a total masterclass.
So Holmes quickly realizes something crucial. To solve this murder happening right now in London, they have to go back in time, way back. The clues aren't pointing to something that happened yesterday. They're pointing to a dark, bloody promise made 30 years ago in a fort in Agra, India. And this is where we get the story, inside the story, the secret history that explains everything. You ready? Okay, so Jonathan Small, our guy with the wooden leg, he was a soldier in India. During a massive rebellion, he and 3 Sikh troopers steal the Agra treasure. They hide it and swear an oath to each other, becoming the sign of the four. But they get caught for another crime and thrown into a penal colony. While they're there, they make a new deal with 2 British officers. Yep, you guessed it, Mary's dad and Sholto's dad, to help them get the treasure. But what happens? Major Sholto double-crosses everyone, snags the treasure for himself, and runs back to England. And that single act of betrayal is what kicks off this whole 30-year quest for revenge. Now, Jonathan Small didn't do all this alone. He had help. An accomplice named Tonga,
an islander from the Andamans. And this is where things get complicated. The quote you see here is how Dr. Watson describes him. And frankly, it's pretty horrifying. He sees him as just this beast of pure cruelty.
And we really have to talk about this because from a modern perspective, the character of Tonga is deeply problematic. He's not written as a human being. He's a caricature, a so-called savage who doesn't even get any dialogue. He's basically depicted as an animal. Now, it's important to understand this isn't just random. It's a direct reflection of the racial prejudices and the imperialist worldview that were common in Victorian Britain. It's a textbook example of how people from colonized nations were often dehumanized in the literature of the time.
Okay, so now that we have the entire backstory, all the pieces are finally on the board. And it all leads to an epic final showdown. We're talking about one of the most famous chase scenes in all of detective fiction, a flat-out, high-speed boat chase on the River Thames. This whole sequence is just pure adrenaline. You've got Holmes and Watson in a police boat tearing down the Thames after Small and Tonga's boat, the Aurora. At one point, Tonga tries to take out Holmes with one of his poisoned darts. Holmes and Watson open fire with their revolvers, and Tonga is killed, falling into the water. In a last-ditch effort, Small crashes his boat ashore, but it's no good. They've got him. They finally get their hands on that treasure chest, they rip it open, and it's empty. Completely empty. All right, so the case is technically solved, right? The bad guys are caught, but the treasure, the very thing that caused all this chaos and death, is gone. And this is where the story gets really clever, with a fantastic, ironic ending. It makes you ask, what was the real prize here? So what happened to the jewels? Well, it was Jonathan Small's final move. As they were being chased, he took the treasure and scattered it, jewel by jewel, into the River Thames. His logic was actually pretty simple. If he couldn't have it, nobody could. The treasure had ruined his life, and he was going to make damn sure its curse ended right there, at the bottom of the river. And this is where the genius of the story really hits you. For Jonathan Small, losing the treasure means his life is over. He's going to prison forever. But for Dr. Watson, for him, it's the best thing that could have possibly happened. See, over the course of the case, he's fallen completely in love with Mary Morstan. But he felt he could never tell her, because if she was a super wealthy heiress, he'd just look like a guy after her money. That's a huge deal in Victorian society. But now that the treasure is gone, Watson says, thank God. That golden barrier between them has vanished, and he's finally free to tell her how he feels. So let's just do a final accounting of what everyone got. Jonathan Small, he wanted wealth and revenge. He got a life sentence in prison. Sherlock Holmes, he just wanted a case to solve some mental stimulation. He got that, and then he got his cocaine again. Mary Morstan started out looking for the truth about her father, and she ended up finding a husband in Dr. Watson. And Watson himself, he was looking for adventure and love, and he got a wife. When you look at it that way, the only characters who really come out on top are the ones who are after something other than money. And that really leaves us with the big question at the heart of the novel, doesn't it? The treasure is gone. Forever. But in its place, a curse is finally broken and two people find happiness together. So it really makes you think, when all the dust settles, what's truly gained and what's truly lost? What's the real treasure anyway?